Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Phoning It In. I am Michael Carvelli, joined by John Terry, back from his marathon stretch as of late.
When's the last time we recorded?
It's been a while.
I was telling you before we started recording that I believe this is the longest you and I have gone talking to each other since before we started the podcast.
Sounds about right. I honestly don't
Because
know.
We took 2 weeks off in a row.
I don't know if we have recorded in the month of November.
When did you get back from the film festival? That was like
the
20th,
something like that.
And I think we recorded when I was in Kansas City.
Yep.
Which would have been like that. I think that was the last time we recorded.
I thought we did one more.
Okay, maybe we did one once I got back home after Minneapolis. Anyways,
it's been a couple weeks. It's been a while.
Yeah, great to talk to you again.
It is. It's so nice.
And I feel like too, we haven't really. I've been so busy. Like I haven't been super active texting wise either. Yeah. So it's just been it's been a minute. That's why this is nice, and it's get to do this and get to hang out for a little bit. So you were out doing, what was it? You sent me like on Snapchat about it, or you tweeted or something. It was like 8 cities. It was 8 so games. We did eight games in 8 consecutive cities. So we were in Cincinnati twice, but we went, basically, yeah, I'm trying to make it sound worse. So 8 cities in 60,
8 separate trips.
8 separate trips. In 64 days, I think, or 65 days, something
9
like that.
weeks.
Yeah, man. Had November 13th circled on the schedule for a while. And it was giving a tour to some people at the stadium on Thursday. And I was asked, like, oh, what's going to be, what's the most exciting part of the game, or what are you most looking forward to? And I basically was like, I'm looking forward to when it's over. I made it sound better than that, but yeah, no, had it circled on the calendar for quite some time, and then we made it. So, and we got the win, which made the final game a whole lot sweeter.
Yeah. So. Well, especially when, the big rivalry, USA Mexico, like I feel like getting to be part of that in whatever way is so cool.
Dude, it was incredible. Like, so here, a couple of things I want to start off with. One, this, like I'm a soccer fan, but like, I'm not like, was never like a huge, like I'd watch this in the World Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know that I necessarily like watched qualifying 4 years ago. Like I remember turning on that snow game against Costa Rica, and I was like, oh, the US are playing a qualifier. This is cool. But like it's not something I like look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember really the last time I watched the USA Mexico game on TV. So, but obviously knew the gravity of the situation. So like it was amazing.
You watched the one over the summer with us.
Oh, sorry. I meant like since I started at US Soccer, like I meant like back, 4 years ago, or friendlies 2 years ago or whatever. Obviously like the gravity of the game. The other cool thing about this one is that with the World Cup being in the US, Canada, and Mexico, like the US is, and it expanding to 48 teams, like this might be the last meaningful home USA Mexico game.
For a while,
For a while, right? So depending on even once it gets, expanded,
you still have
you still have like Gold Cup and Nations League, but we don't host those. So like this is the last one that in theory, like I will be able to, so we'll see. But man, it was unbelievable. Like I've been lucky enough to go to like a lot of different sporting events, like mainly college football games and like basketball games. Like I was at a Final Four.
Yeah.
Didn't even come close.
Oh no.
Like not even remotely close. Like this game was, I'm thinking probably the Final Four was like the other coolest thing I did. This was four times better.
Because you never got to do any of the you never got to do like a big bowl game, right?
Never. No. Like, I mean, when we
were at the DA.
Never went to a BCS bowl. Didn't go to the college football playoff when I was at UW. Yeah. I mean, the closest thing at Washington was probably when we beat Stanford, but that was like my second year, and I was like mainly out on the water. Like I didn't really have a whole lot to do with it. Man, I think I tweeted out a video of the national anthem. I am not one to get sentimental over a national anthem. Dude, I had fucking chills.
Yeah.
Did you watch the video?
I did. Yeah.
Like, dude, it was unbelievable. Like it was like, I don't have words to describe it. It was wild. And then
so
like,
cool. That kind of thing, like and that's why soccer is so cool generally. Like, obviously that can happen with any sport, especially with the national anthem. Like, you're going to have people singing along with that. But like, there's something about a soccer crowd in particular where they are so active with everything that it makes moments like that possible. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get that at like
a hockey game. Well,
yeah,
that's
you're not going to get that at like
a regular season NBA game.
Right. You're not going to get that like going to PNC Park to watch the Pirates play like the Brewers on a Wednesday or something like.
Right. Or even the Pirates playing the Reds. Like, I just don't think you get it. And I think the way a soccer field is oriented, especially with that stadium, the sound just reverberates. And man, I also think too, the tension, and I don't know how to explain this, but like, I've obviously worked a lot of friendlies and was super stressed about all of them because I'm still trying to figure out, what the hell I'm doing. Dude, the tension for a world, I think I mentioned this to you after Canada, the tension at a World Cup qualifier, it's unreal, dude. Like, there's all this tension around like the game, like personally around like the game, making
there's so much on the line,
whatever. And that became so real 4 years ago when you don't qualify. And so it's just, man, it is just like, you can cut the tension with a knife. I mean, it is so tight that like, it's wild. And dude, when they scored the first goal, man.
Oh, I bet. I'm so bummed that I didn't get to watch. I'm so it would have been like the relief that I got as I was, and we're going to talk about where I was. I was watching basketball game, WVU versus Pitt,
which I was bummed I couldn't watch.
But we were like, the game did not start until 8:30. The basketball game didn't start till 8:30.
And soccer game started at 9:10.
Whatever.
Get it right.
Either way, I don't get to watch any of the game. Had it started at 7, I probably get to watch like the second half. But as we were leaving, like, I was walking through the concourse out to the car when I got the text from Nick, probably, that was like, "Oh, Pulisic goal." And I was like, "Oh yes." Like, I went nuts, like, walking through, and it was so much fun. I'm so bummed I didn't get to watch, especially when they actually seemed to play as well as they did. Cause those Mexico games, it sometimes is like, oh, the US just kind of like hanging on and hoping we can spring a counter. But it sounds like this time we actually brought it to them and sort of asserted ourselves as like the top dog, which is wild to think about. And kind of, I think it's another step in the process that they've been taking.
Is the first time,
even if some people in this current podcast don't believe in it.
I believe it is the first time since 1937 that either USA or Mexico has beaten the other team three times in 1 year.
Wow.
Year. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Man, when they scored the first goal is cool. The second goal though was like, and I think it was like the 85th minute or something. I don't even remember.
It was late.
First goal, it's like, okay, it's a late first goal. Even if something happens, you at least get a point out of that, and you feel good about it.
And you've seen so many times, like, especially the US, find a way to have like a 1-0 lead late and give one up in like stoppage time to get a draw or a loss out of it.
But you still feel good about a point out of that game, honestly. Like,
sure, but like, you're also like dreading the fact that bad things are still possible.
100%. And dude, when Weston hit the second goal and it went in, you could just like, it was pandemonium, maybe more pandemonium than the first goal, actually.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, because that's
you could
the one.
sense,
like, that's where it's like,
you could party. You could party. Like,
it's
take
that
off the
first
leash.
One
it's
you have
done.
to like, the first one you celebrate, but you have to do it, like I said, knowing, okay, what's going to happen the rest of the way now? Because especially late in the game like that, a team like Mexico is going to start really, man. Odd that that's your number one. By the
Kit
way.
Kats.
Yeah.
I'm eating a Kit Kat bar right now. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, sorry. Anybody who's just listening didn't see John hold up a Kit Kat bar. But yeah, when you get that second goal though, that's like the celebration almost becomes like the massive sigh of relief because you're like, okay, we've got 2 goals on them with like, this little time to go.
Like even if you give up a goal at that point,
yeah,
you batten down the hatches and you figure out a way not to give up.
Right.
Aston Villa would give up 2 in that situation, but thankfully the US did not. Well, they did, but man, it was nuts, dude. It was nuts. Like before that game, I would have never spent hundreds of dollars to go to a sporting event. I would pay hundreds of dollars to go to that event again. Yeah. That's how cool it was. I mean, it's
one that I would love to go to.
It's
like, aside from a World Cup and decide like not counting like Spurs, because obviously like that's like top of the list, but in terms of like soccer to watch here, aside from anything World Cup, like actual World Cup related, that's like far and away number one on the list. Like getting to see a USA Mexico match, that especially one that means something for one thing or another, would be incredible.
I mean, you could make the argument that this was, US has obviously played Mexico before. US has had other games, but
yeah,
the gravity of World Cup qualifying this year, I think, is heftier than previous years because of what happened in 14 and the expectations and whatever.
Right. Even just to show like, okay, that was a fluke. We belong here, and we're
right.
Like
unreal, man. Unreal.
Such a cool thing. And it goes back to all the stuff like in the past, like when we talked about stuff at the beginning of qualifiers, like before you got all this started, and I probably freaked you out a little bit by being like, this is such a big thing. But like, it's another thing where it's like, this was such a cool, big thing that you can say you get to do and be a part of. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah. And it was neat. It was neat, but happy to be home.
Yeah.
Happy to be home for sure. And for only have one game in the next 2 months. So
there you go. And I do have one thing. I'm going to pivot to trying to figure out a way to do this without it being a total downer.
But just do it. It'll be good.
A massive game like this. How many people were at that game?
26,000.
26,000. So not a massive like college football stadium.
It was a sold out at capacity crowd.
Right. A packed.
And when you add in like the amount of staff and etc. there, it's over that. It's over capacity.
Yeah. But a packed stadium, you're running that. Especially a packed stadium where like fans in portions of it are standing together and they're close, and you probably have people kind of trying to straggle in that shouldn't be in there, that kind of deal. I want to bring up a kind of bummer thing.
Yeah, just go for it. I actually didn't know this happened until 3 days after.
Okay.
Because I was just so tuned out.
I was going to ask if you had seen this Travis Scott concert situation.
I did, but it was literally like 3 days after it happened. I'm shocked I didn't see it on Twitter or something. I was just busy.
So anybody who hasn't seen it, I'm sure like a lot of people have by now, especially, if John has seen it, anybody has. But at a Travis Scott Astro World Festival concert.
Is that what is Astro World? Is that like,
it's like his, like, it was the name of one of his albums.
Okay.
And it's become like his like brand for like these big concerts. And I believe it was at NRG Stadium in Houston.
Or the Astrodome, maybe. They get rid of
I thought it was NRG.
Okay. I honestly have no idea.
But he had 50,000 people at this big show. It ended up being declared a mass casualty event because 50,000 people like rushing to get like close to the stage, squishing each other. I think 8 or 9 people have died at this point.
It was 9 as of 3 days ago.
Yeah. And just like basically it being a thing where like they got crushed, which is the craziest thing about it. Like it would almost be one thing if they were like, you almost, when you hear something like that, you expect it to be like, oh, people got like trampled,
right,
or something like that. But just hearing it be like a crush thing. And obviously, I don't think you're ever going to have an event where that will be an issue for you to deal with.
Hope not.
But well, obviously, But I mean, we've seen it happen with stuff like Hillsborough and soccer, and like the question I have for you, because I mean, obviously the main thing from this is like, how much of it is his fault and all this stuff, because he kept performing for like 40 minutes after it was declared like a mass casualty thing. And he had, people had to be in his ear about it. But from a standpoint for like, as a person who like helps to put on events, how much planning do you guys put in for like worst case scenario type issues?
So, well, what's interesting is one, like the good thing that came out of Hillsborough is a lot of these soccer stadiums now have these like safe standing sections. So they have like railings in between like the supporter section where they're standing. So it's impossible to push through. The old England stadiums, they didn't. It was just basically imagine, how the Coliseum is? Like, I don't know if it still is that way, but where the students stand, how there used to be seats there and they just took out the seats and it's just those platforms.
Just like,
that's what it used to be in soccer stadiums, but they would have a fence in front. So imagine the Coliseum if there was a fence in front of the student section there and push forward,
hack everybody and squish up against the fence.
That's essentially like kind of what happened.
Okay.
With concerts, obviously they don't have fences, but they have these super high grade like barriers that are basically like probably rated for like trucks and Homeland Security. So like you can't move them because they don't want people to push through them.
Right.
What I don't understand, regardless of if someone was in his ear or not, I think I read something where he's like, you can't see much because of the lights or something. I don't know. The fact that whoever was in charge of that event didn't just turn on the lights and say, we're stopping, like time out. We are stopping. This is an issue.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
Yeah.
And I think it's always awkward when you have these outside events too. Like I've been on both sides of it now, where if you have a promoter,
I was gonna say, how much did you have to deal with? Did you guys have to do many concert things when you're at UW?
We did no concerts. Well, we kind of did one, but it was like the Special Olympics thing. It wasn't like the crowd to do that.
That's right. I remember that.
So, but it is awkward because we had those conversations with like, this was the special events. It was on ABC National. What happens if there's lightning? Like who makes the call, or there's bad weather? Who makes the call to stop the event? We were like, we make the call. We're the venue. And they said, no, you don't clear the stadium until we say something. So there is that gray area. Now being on the promoter side of it, it's like, it's in consultation. I would never tell the venue, hey, if you think it's unsafe for us to have an event, you clear the bowl. That's fine. Like, let's just be in touch about it. I don't understand, man, how they didn't turn on the lights, how they didn't stop it. I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean,
and to let it go, like, look, if it happens over 10 minutes, that might be
40 minutes,
but they had uniform security down there on the front line, seeing what was happening.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah. 40 minutes, man.
What's interesting is I'm curious the legal stuff, the legal fallout from this. The chief of police during the Hillsborough incident ended up like being charged and found guilty. Just recently, actually, there were a ton of different things. They basically said that he was negligent because he wasn't ready for this and didn't say anything. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
You'd think in the United States at a venue like Energy Stadium, which I believe you said is where it was, like you would think in a city like Houston, you'd think they would have experience with this. Because man, the security plan that goes into these events is like, there's a lot that goes into it.
And you also have like the whole, I mean, I don't know how much you're aware of him at all.
I honestly, I don't even know what he looks like.
Yeah. I mean, he's had like the other weird thing is he's had a history of like encouraging this kind of thing, like encouraging people to like rush forward and like sneak in and do things like that. And like, I think he got arrested at one point for like inciting a riot or something, so that's like the also weird area about this is because like he's somebody who is,
I mean, there's a 9-year-old on life support right now.
Yeah.
A 9-year-old.
Yeah. It's crazy.
What are his like fans saying about it?
I don't really know. I think a lot of them are, I think there are some people who are defending him just because I think there are some people who will just defend the celebrities they love for some reason.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest. I have tried to like stay away from fan discourse about it, and
I'm sure that's really healthy.
Right, and just stay looking at like actual news stuff about it if I look at it. But yeah, it's wild. But let's get into switch past into a more positive thing. We talked about what you were doing that night, which was Friday, right? Friday night. Jeez. So let's get into what I was doing. So my second WVU home game of the new basketball season. Basketball is back, which means we're getting close to March. And the second game here was WVU Pitt. So you had the backyard brawl, the rivalry back.
And how long has it been since West Virginia played Pitt in something?
I mean, they play every year.
Basketball they do?
Yeah.
I don't think I
think they played last year. Let me see. I can't remember if
COVID wiped it out.
If COVID messed that one up in non-conference or not, but they have been playing every year.
For some reason I didn't think they did. Mm-hmm. When did they start playing in football again?
2023, maybe 2.
I'm looking it up.
It's in the next couple years.
Next year they open at Pitt.
Okay, yeah. So 23 is the next home game against them.
Home game.
They played last year.
God, and hopefully they have a new head football coach by then.
No comment.
The number of times you just put me in awkward positions, I figured I'd do it to you.
They did not play.
Neil Brown is terrible, by the way.
They did not play Pitt last year in basketball. They did play Pitt the year before at Pitt and won by 15. It's been like 10 years since Pitt has beaten West Virginia in basketball. But yeah, I think they started that back up like 4 or 5 years ago, like 2016 or 17. They started it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Like,
how crowded was it? What was
packed,
the
packed?
Sold out?
I think it was actually a sellout. It might not have been, but it was close enough.
What is it? Seat 16?
Yeah, I think
so it was probably like 14.5, something like that.
We have, let's see,
good student turnout.
I think attendance or capacity, I think is 14.5 maybe, because they had it marked. They had attendance marked as 14.1.
Got it. Okay. Good student turnout.
Good student. I mean, it was packed. Like I said, everything was pretty full. The first game. So this is their second game. They played Oakland earlier in the week. Tuesday, I think it was. And that was like a decent crowd. I think they had 9,500 people for that. So not bad, but it was like the first time it felt like the Coliseum was like the Coliseum again, which was cool. And obviously like Pitt's always fun. And I will say it was kind of a bummer.
Because it wasn't a close game?
Because Pitt was so bad. Like it sucks how bad they have gotten at basketball.
Damn.
And I don't say that as like a jab of like, oh, they're so bad now. I say it as like a genuine bummer as a college basketball fan who, like, while I love West Virginia being able to beat Pitt buzzer to buzzer and it not being a problem at all, the games were so much fun when both teams were really good.
Yeah, it was like 2 top 10 teams. I mean, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, it was always like
because the win is more meaningful too, right? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Not only beat Pitt, but you get a top 10 win out of it.
Yeah. Like it was always 2 teams that were like battling for being the best team in the Big East or something.
Yeah.
Like
the game. Yeah. That's a good point.
They've been so bad. It's amazing.
Is their coach still Jeff Capel?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I saw something that he's had like 2 commitments in the last like 2 years or something like that. I mean,
yikes.
I think they only have like 10 scholarship guys right now.
Which shocks me because like they have nice facilities. Like it's a cool city. Like why? I mean, to be honest, man, why would people rather go to West Virginia than Pitt?
I mean, I think there's a big draw in West Virginia. I mean,
yeah, but like I would argue the ACC is a better basketball conference. Maybe not actually with Texas and Kansas, but you get my point. Like
I would say
why isn't Pitt better? It shocks me. I don't know. And you've seen their arena.
Yeah, it's a nice place.
They have a practice facility. Yeah. Like Pitt's a good fucking school too.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so weird to me. But they've got nobody, man. I mean, they were doing like stuff that was like junior high mistakes. Like it was such a weird game to watch because it was one of those things where like it felt like I did when I watched them play Oakland the other day, where it was like, okay, the game might be kind of close, but they're not going to lose. Like it was one of those. And I feel the thing that sucks is I feel like the other big non-conference game might end up being the same. Like the other big home.
Was that Connecticut?
Yeah.
On December the 8th.
Yeah. Which will be, I mean, that'll be awesome just to get another Big East school.
Did you see, by the way, that Jim Mora Jr. got hired as the UConn football coach?
I did.
Oh, it cracks me up, man. That guy is.
Yeah.
It's just why would like like I just don't get it. Like they do not care about football.
No.
For starters. I mean, Jim Mora must be so freaking desperate to get back to it, which is ironic because you saw today that University of Washington fired their head coach.
I did.
And I bet Jim Mora would have wanted that job.
Yeah, probably.
From Seattle.
Yeah.
Coached at the Seahawks. I don't know that he would have gotten it, but
right.
I mean, he was like, he was okay at UCLA. He wasn't terrible. So
I think, anyways, yeah, I mean, I don't think he's a bad coach necessarily.
No. Anyway, it was just interesting though. I found that
it's fascinating to see like how like little like that, how that one, and it makes me very afraid for what could happen in the future here.
Right.
With like Hugs, because you see when one thing changes. And like, I think with Pitt, it was when Jamie Dixon left. Because I don't think they've been good since then. So it's like, what's going to happen to us when Hugs is done, and you can have the best contingency plan in the world, but who knows how well it's going to go until it actually happens.
Well, I mean, yeah, in the case of Washington, right? Like,
right.
Everyone felt good about it. Like Coach Pete was like, yeah, Jimmy likes the guy.
Yeah.
And then we also need to talk about my return to Seattle, by the way.
Oh, that's right.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I remembered it midway through the talk about the Mexico game. And I was like, I need to bring it up. And then I forgot about it until just now. So that's good.
Dude, awesome. Holy shit. It was so much fun being back and not having to work.
I bet. I was going to say, I bet it was so nice to not have responsibilities of doing stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like one low-key felt like a celebrity. I didn't tell many people I was coming. So like a few people.
Oh, so you had like the surprise factor.
Yeah, exactly. Which by the way, when everyone's wearing a mask, very difficult.
Yeah.
To like recognize people. Like
are you good about that?
What do you mean? Like,
are you good at recognizing people just by their mask?
So I think the difference was I was good about recognizing people, but since people didn't know I was going to be there, I wasn't even in like the forethought that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I knew who people were and where people should be, but when they saw me, so like, I would like, cheat like, hey, how's it going? Whatever. Cause like, I didn't want to be awkward. Dude, it was so much fun, man. We flew on Wednesday night, all day, Thursday, Friday. I was like I worked from a suite one day, was just doing calls, saying hi to people, like rummaging around. Thursday night, went to a ton of breweries, which was just amazing. I mean,
it looked awesome.
Also, the cool thing in Seattle, and I know it's not happening in West Virginia, it's not happening in Chicago, is in order to walk into like any restaurant, you have to show a vaccine card and an ID that matches a vaccine card. Like you don't step foot in the door.
Yeah, there's nothing like that.
It is wild and also very cool.
No one's even dreaming of doing stuff like that here. So
we felt very comfortable eating inside.
Nice.
And then they like, since we've left, like the light rail, the train has expanded too. So like we were just like using the train to get from downtown up to UW.
That's awesome.
Saw a bunch of people. Man, the football game, horrible weather. I mean, just disgustingly gross. Just got soaked. But it got tailgated before the game. It was nuts. Woo. Down to 6-pack. It was lovely. Washington, I don't know. You probably didn't watch the game because it didn't matter. But Washington was only down 10-9 at halftime to Oregon.
Nice.
And I was like, oh shit, we're gonna storm the field. And then we lost.
Stormed.
Huh?
Were you on the field?
I would have been on top of the field goal post. We
would
were.
not.
I was rummaging around. We were in like the employee seats section. Then we went to the club seats for a little bit. We were on the field for a little bit, so we were all around.
Nice.
I was in the command post for a little bit. So yeah, man, it was so great to see everybody though, because like I realized like I never like there were people who I didn't say bye to, and then there were people I didn't even think about and haven't thought about since I left. But like I wish I had said bye to, like these people who you work with constantly, but they're not your friend. Like I don't know how to explain it.
You work with them, but you don't see them a ton,
right? And like I had not like forgotten about them, but like
but man, you run out of time to say bye to everyone, and it just kind of slips.
Right. So it was awesome. It was super cool to see everyone, and then the weather sucked, but man, it was just it was great. It was great. And then I got back here for a day, turned around, and then obviously went to I've also started scootering to work, which I think is new since we started the podcast. Since we've
I mean, we might have.
I had the scooter. You saw the scooter.
I was gonna say I can't remember. We talked about it so much when
maybe I scootered once. I might have scootered once to work. Anyways,
you scootered once when I was like the day I left.
That's right. Anyways, I totally forgot about the Seattle thing, so I wanted to mention it.
Yeah,
dude, it was
nice. You got to go back there. I get to. So we've got Cody comes to town this week.
Ooh, baby!
I have no idea what we're gonna be. You know what
you'll have to see if he's still alive too.
Right. Yeah, we'll have to get in communication with him. I can't remember
what's it called, like a wellness check or something.
Yeah, basically do a wellness check. I'll get my guess is I'll get like a call at 4:15 like on Tuesday. That's okay. Hey, how's it going? Like
well, you actually talked to Cody a good bit.
Oh yeah, I'll text him. I'll text him, and then it basically my texts to him serve as like an open invitation to text back.
Like what? Like, do you ask a question?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I will. Sometimes just like sometimes it'll be like I'll drop a song that I'm listening to him.
Oh, got it.
Or like little things.
What is the response rate? I'm curious.
I'd say like 3/4 of the time.
Got it. I text him about beer a good bit.
Yeah, I'd say I get one like 80% of the time.
I don't want to bother him. Like I know he's like
right. That's the other thing, and I think that's why I tell him like I just send him stuff like little things here and there when I like see something or whatever. That's not necessarily like a needed response back, but like
right
if it sparks conversation, then perfect. But then the best things are like the random nights where I look at my phone and have a call from him and we talk for like 30 minutes. So I think he gets in because they're coming up to watch the game on Saturday against Texas, which I like
coming off a big loss. Oh boy.
Yeah. When they mentioned coming in for that game, I was like, oh, that'd be a cool game to get to go to. And then I was like, but it's like middle of November. I don't really want to do that. so my guess is maybe I don't know, maybe do fishbowl or something one day. I don't know.
Dude, you should just try. I bet you can get super cheap tickets on StubHub. I mean, you go just go like tailgate with them.
Maybe I'll do that. I don't necessarily, especially if I can't get a seat with them, because I'm sure they already have tickets. That's the thing.
Well, of course they do, but like, how crowded is the game going to be? You know, it's not like
it's Texas. It's senior day against Texas.
Well, yeah, but Neil Brown sucks. So,
listen, no, I'm not.
You know, I am pumped about the game. Just one more opportunity for Neil Brown to suck and for them to realize that he's not the guy.
Listen, we're trusting the climb. And I don't know. Football games,
dude, it is supposed to be beautiful on Saturday.
I accidentally
51 degrees.
Did a perfect thing where I did the 2 games that I worked during the season as 2 of the first 3 home games of the season when it was like really nice out. And I like that.
That's fair.
I don't love that's why I do basketball season tickets instead of football season tickets.
Inside.
In addition to them probably being way cheaper than football season tickets.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's I am not advocating for football season tickets.
I know. No, but I'm saying the reason I don't is because I don't want to go to the middle of November games.
What I always got was when people at Washington would like send emails like, I'm not renewing my season tickets. I've been a season ticket holder for 35 years, but the weather is just not good. And I was like, well, the weather has not changed in 35 years. It's always rainy and cold in late October and November. So glad it took you 35 years to realize that, Bucko.
Exactly.
Like,
no, I mean, to be fair, like some people do handle it when they get older, as you know, now that you're in your 40s or whatever. And
yeah, right.
So, I mean, you know, but
cheapest ticket right now, $45.
I'm good, man.
But tailgating is free.
Right. That's the thing. I can spend the days leading up to the game with him. I can spend the morning of. Oh, it's a noon game. So I mean, how early am I getting up to Morgantown?
Dude, get up there, get tutors with the guy, go have a beer too, and then drive home.
But we'll see. We'll see.
And then you take a nap.
See, the thing is, I need to find out when they're going to be here and what their plan is. So
it's true. I wish we had
the good thing is. The nice thing about any time that one of us gets together with Cody or we do something where Cody is involved, we sometimes then get an appearance on the show.
It's a good point.
Afterward. So maybe we use that as a way of guilting him to come back for a couple of weeks. So
how lucky we would be.
We'll see. We do not have a movie club this week, because of the hectic schedules.
We need to get back on track. I also have another idea. Once we finish the movie club, can we do like a 5 or 6 holiday movie club edition?
Sure. Yeah.
Mario likes the movies.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of games. So like when you were talking about that new Home Alone movie, I was like, oh
yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Did you guys watch it?
No, we did not.
I'd wait until close to Christmas.
No, that's my point though. I was like, we could watch like,
because we've got like
whatever.
We got a few weeks left. And we can even like put this on hold and do a couple, a couple holiday ones in between. But part of the reason why I did not watch this, in addition to the fact that I had a feeling we weren't going to talk about it on the show this week, is because I could not remember what we picked. And I know that we were between two.
Well, okay, so here's the problem. If I can be completely blunt.
Yeah.
And of course I can, because it's a super podcast.
Yeah.
We've watched so many movies at this point, trying to find like the movies that are available on streaming services is actually quite difficult.
Tough. Yeah.
Yeah, it is tough. So that's my beef.
But I know you were down to 2, and I know we had a similar issue with both of the options, and I cannot remember, even though I know we've talked about it via text and I could probably just search the texts. I can't remember what you chose between The Breakup and Maid of Honor.
I think I ended up choosing the Maid of Honor because Breakup was only available on Stars and I own DVD, but I'm not married to either of those.
I'm good with that. Unless you have something else, I'm good with that.
Well, here's the thing. Maid of Honor, Mariel probably doesn't want to watch that.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm looking something up. I'm seeing if a movie is on.
You can just ask me.
That would be fun. Then I'd be giving up.
You can drop it in the chat.
Because we haven't watched. Is 27 Dresses on the streaming service?
It's on HBO Max.
Maybe we do that because you always make fun of me for that.
I do.
Let's do 27 Dresses.
Sure is a lot of dresses.
Sure is.
So we'll do 27 Dresses next week. The 2008 classic starring the Queen.
Or I have one more thought, which is actually a better movie, which I don't think we've watched yet. We've watched on a movie club, but I don't think it was the chick flick movie club. Lovebirds.
I'd rather watch 27 Dresses.
You didn't like Lovebirds?
It was fine.
Okay, I thought you did like it.
It was fine.
Okay.
I liked it. I liked it maybe a little more than 27 Dresses.
Okay. 27 Dresses it is.
But I would rather have a fun.
You'd rather tee off on me.
We've already discussed the Lovebirds on the pod. And I don't think it's a movie that warrants multiple discussions in a lifetime. So that's where I stand.
I remember liking it until the end when it got corny.
It was fine. It like I said, it's just a movie that doesn't deserve more than one discussion in a life. It's not bad.
It's just not good.
Yeah. But 27 Dresses is what we'll watch this week. So yeah, be sure to check that out. And do you have anything else?
I don't. I was doing one more check to make sure that one movie has not. No, it is not. I was looking up the new Fever Pitch to see if that had been recorded by my YouTube TV, and it looks like it has not.
Gotcha. So that'll be. We'll hold out for that one. But yeah, until next week. That's all.
Good talking to you, man. This is
absolutely.
Fun.
It's so much fun. As always, thanks for listening. Be sure to check out and subscribe on whatever podcast app you listen to, on YouTube if you're watching us there. Give us a rating and review on your apps while you are there. And where can they find us on? Do you remember where they can find us online?
Yeah, phoning in a podcast at gmail.com or phoning in a pod on Twitter and the Facebook there.
Good job. And as always,
they can call us at a number, and I don't know that number. And you probably don't know it either.
It's 304-627-1889.
Yeah, what a guy. 1889. What happened in 1889?
As always,
it was the year that Hitler was born.
As always, a shout out to Miguel Silva for our theme song. Check out Saving Miles Lemon on Spotify and Apple Music. And with that, that's all we have for this week. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time.